Hi, y'all. It's Bonkai922. Um, Before I get into this review of High School DxD Episode 10, getting close to the end of this show, I just want to mention one thing. Tonight I will try my hardest to do. I'm doing this review now, but I want to do the fairy tale review and Mirror Nikki. But that's probably going to be tomorrow. I'll probably do the review of that tomorrow night. So, But let's get into it. High School DxD Episode 10. This was basically the beginning of the battle. Of this rating battle. It starts off with Issei, and he's having this tender moment with Ashia, yeah, and getting ready for the battle, and he eventually what happens is he gets up, they get up, and it's at an hour. In an hour, this battle's going to take place. It's rating battle, and I go to the school to meet up with Rias. I can't say. Every time I read this show, I still cannot say this character's name. We'll say Grimmery. To meet up with, Grimmery, her, and the others. And my glasses. They're confronted at the council room, their club's council room, by the president and the vice president of the student council, and they say they're the third party in all this, and they're going to be basically they're going to observe. They're observing the match. That's the whole premise of it, and they're basically telling them that when it get, and then they did telling them that that's what they're going to do, so they leave. The servant who, that other one, Rias's father's servant, the one that his queen shows up, the one who's like officiating the battle. She comes in and tells him, oh, when this magic circle is activated and it's red, that's when you'll come in. So she tells him that and she leaves. And that's when she has a conversation with Issei and everyone else about how her brother, Rias's brother, is Lord Satan. He's the lord of all the devils, all of them. And it's basically a title, Lucifer, that whole bit. Okay, with that said, they're obviously ready. The circle is activated, and they all get sent to the battleground. Now, the battleground is actually the school, but it's like you don't know until they open the window when you're there, and they see this green sky. So it's an illusion plane that they created. So, and that's what transpires. And that's when battle has commenced. Things are getting underway. And the explanation basically is this. If any of the servants, if Issei, Kiba, Konako, Akino, or Ashia get to Riser Phoenix's headquarters, which is the principal's office, they will be promoted a rank. So, in other words, if Issei gets there, he will go from a pawn to, I guess, a rook. Oh, that's all right. A rook. And then that's how it goes. Vice versa, if anybody from Riser Phoenix's group, any of his servants, get to Rias Grimmery's, the club room, they will be promoted to rank. So that's how it's being stirred, being twisted. And that's what's going on. And basically what their plan is for Rias Grimmery, she's basically going to say Ashia and Issei to stay. Ashia's got to stay close to Grimmery. That's the whole point of that. Meanwhile, Issei's going to stay there for the time being. Meanwhile, Kiba, Akino, and Konako, they're going to go and set up traps. They're setting up traps for the enemy, so they don't just go straight in there, you know. And the battle plan is that they're going to try to enter Grimmery's servants through the gymnasium. That's the whole point. So, but before Issei goes in there, he's laying on Grimmery's lap because she's going to unlock his power. Because he has a lot of seals. His power is actually sealed. That's why he's not as strong as he seems to be. So she unlocks one of those seals on him and sends him out with Konako. And they go into the gymnasium, and basically they're fighting against 3 pawns and 1 rook. However, the rook, she has the level power of almost like a queen. So it's really tough. So they start this battle, and basically, you know, and while that's going on, there's also a few other members of Riser Phoenix's servants going through the forest as well. Well, okay, so battle starts, and it's kind of crazy. I mean, Konako, hopefully I'm saying that name right. Koniko, she, hard to say these names. I apologize for anyone who's having a hard time dealing with me saying these names. But anyway, she's fighting this rook who's actually got the power of a queen, and she's having a hard time, but she's able to get the upper hand in it. Meanwhile, Issei, he can't do anything. He's totally getting the runaround until he manages, and basically he's fighting these 2 pawns, the 3 pawns. 2 of them are girls with chainsaws. Like, it was crazy. And he's dodging and everything. And that's when he's able to do something interesting. And he's dodging all these attacks, and he eventually is able to touch them. He touches them and this other one by he keeps dodging their attacks. That's all he's doing. So what he does is he pushes them away, and he activates this spell. He calls it dress something. I forgot the specifically name of the spell, but basically what it does is it rips the girl's clothes off, clean off, and I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? And they get defeated that way, and then Konako beats her, the rook who's a powerful queen, is able to take her down, and then after that they just leave the gymnasium, and then Akino, I can't say these names right. Oh, it's driving me crazy. To people who keep complaining to me about that, I'm sorry. Kino, she's on top in the sky, and she just throws this fucking lightning bolt right onto the gymnasium. And they call her the Princess of Thunder, I believe. That was the proper thing of that. And from there, and Issei basically told Grimmery that he was okay, and then Kanako is okay, and they're on their way to meet up with Kiba. But Kiba is able to, for some reason, the 3 that were in the forest, they got trapped by one of the traps, so they can't go anywhere. So Kiba's facing off against these 3. So, moving right along, Konako, she was like so disgusting. She called him a pervert. Don't touch me or anything. It was weird the way she was saying that. But when it seemed like Grimmery got the upper hand in the match, that's when Riser, he sends his queen to attack Konako. God, I can't say his name right. And she gets blasted. And then Issei's running to her, and that's how the more or less episode ends. So more or less, it's like Grimmery was able to take out a few of his pawns, but then he took out her rook. So now it's kind of complicated. And because it seems like what might happen, I think what's going to happen is, for next week's episode, I think Issei's going to have to fight the people that show up, that girl in the sky. But that remains to be seen. But as far as an episode's concerned, I give this a 4 out of 5. This was pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. What I noticed, though, is Issei wasn't using the booster. He was boosting up, but he wasn't really using it. You know what I mean? Like the full force of it. So it seems like he's holding it back for now. But I thought this was a great episode. Episode 10 was great. The name of it was Beginning of a Battle, or Battle Beginnings, or something like that, I think. Once again, I apologize for butchering the name. Rias, Grimmery. The only ones I can say correctly is Issei and Ashia. That's it. It's like Kires and Kiba. But the other three, it's hard to say. I say Riser's names correctly. But anyway, that's what it seems to be. Interesting how it's going along. It's like they took out a few servants from his group, kind of, and now she took out that woman. I think she's the queen, his queen. That's his queen, I believe. The actual queen. So, it's give and take. Should be interesting down the road. Now, I believe there's only probably 2 more episodes of the show. So, we'll see. Next week should be interesting. Should be pretty interesting next week, so we'll see. Okay, so this has been Bonkai922. See you guys later. And like I said before, reviewing Ramiraniki. And that's probably going to come tomorrow night. There'll be a double crazy, violent, double shot of it. Review Miraniki, review another. Give or take. Okay. See you guys later. And once again, I apologize for mispronouncing those names. It's just, ugh, See you guys later.